Today on Public Eye News, Marquette City Police cracked down on distracted driving and details on the first ever image seen of a black hole in space.
Later, Brady Hinshaw will update us on the possible snow coming our way, and Nate Velville has the latest info on the NHL Draft Lottery. Hi, I'm Max Stevens.
And I'm Erica Flint, and this is Public Eye News. Beacon House is relocating to the Upper Peninsula Medical Center to ensure services are still provided in the interim. Operation Overnight is taking off to prevent an interruption of services. This will be accomplished via a partnership between Beacon House, Travel Marquette, and local hotel owners and managers. To help with funding during this temporary period, Beacon House staff are writing grant proposals. The new Steve Mariucci Family Beacon House is estimated to open approximately 1 year from now. Pizza Hut of Marquette is seeking a new location to be in by the end of the year. Their location is currently at the Old Marquette Mall. The lease has expired and they are extending the agreement on a month-by-month basis. According to an official with the company, quote, "None of the 20 to 30 jobs at Pizza Hut will be lost," end quote. After 30 years in Marquette, they plan to stay in the local area.
The Marquette County Solid Waste Authority is hoping to bring single-stream and glass recycling to the area. A request was formally submitted to the Marquette County Board on Tuesday for a millage of 0.1 mil for 10 years to be on the ballot for August. The County Board handed the request over to their legal counsel for review. County Board Chair Jerry Corkin stated that the county is open to recycling, but want to ensure that the proposal for the millage is handled legally and correctly. The County Board is hoping to hear back from the legal counsel sometime next week. And Marquette City Police Corporal John Rink announced that the Marquette City PD, along with other agencies statewide, are cracking down on distracted drivers during the month of April. Rink stated that it's one of the city's biggest concerns as the weather warms up and more pedestrians and cyclists take to the streets. Rink also reminded the public that a citation for distracted driving comes at a steep price, $175 per citation. According to the Michigan State Police, in 2017, over 20,000 crashes in the state involved distracted driving, up by almost 8,000 from the previous year. If you really need to send a text, police advise you to pull over.
The Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center is making an effort to help veterans learn how to recognize and cope with stress. This is in an attempt to focus on health of both the body and the mind. During the program, psychologists will look at the effects stress has on these veterans and then help them develop skills to combat these stressors. The program is 4 sessions long, once per week for a month. And any veterans interested can contact the Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center directly. The first Great Lakes bulk carrier since 1983 will be built in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. The Interlake Steamship Company and Fincantieri Bay Shipbuilding have teamed up to create this historic vessel and are very excited about the partnership. The ship will be 639 feet long and will be responsible for transporting raw materials throughout the Great Lakes region. It is also expected to generate hundreds of jobs. The ship will be completed in 2022. We'll be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Could a bird's egg be the most perfect design on the planet? It's a simple structure that supports the complex components of new life. The shell is strong enough to protect a chick, but weak enough to let it break free. And eggs can go anywhere, having conquered every climate and continent. Let's take a closer look at this miracle of nature.
Tonight at 8 after PBS NewsHour.
And welcome back. President Trump is expected to make an announcement today during his visit to Texas, emphasizing his priority to expand energy development in the United States, partially by rolling back government regulations. Under the planned executive order, the Environmental Protection Agency would consult with states, tribes, and other relevant agencies and issue updated guidance policies for states to follow. Furthermore, a second executive order from President Trump would streamline the process for energy infrastructure that crosses international borders, and the Transportation Department would propose a rule allowing liquefied natural gas to be shipped in approved rail tank cars. After meeting with supporters in San Antonio, the president intends to sign the orders while visiting the International Union of Operating Engineers Training and Education Center, northeast of Houston. And President Trump heads to Texas today for fundraisers and to speak to supporters. The trip comes as his administration is laying out details of a new strategy on immigration. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
President Trump called on lawmakers to help change immigration laws as he left the White House for Texas this morning.
The whole asylum rules, laws, and regulations have been taken advantage of by people that are very bad people in many cases. It's very important that the Democrats in Congress change these loopholes.
As part of a new, tougher strategy on immigration, a senior administration official says the president wants the right to detain migrant children for longer and make it harder for asylum seekers to get work permits. The changes could face court challenges.
What in the world is next with this Trump administration? They have a failed immigration policy, and they've decided getting tougher is the answer. They're wrong.
New government figures show in March, more than 103,000 people were apprehended or denied entry at the U.S.-Mexico border. More than 92,000 were stopped between ports of entry. White House advisor Stephen Miller has emerged as the administration's point person on immigration matters. The president praised him this morning, but also made clear who is in charge of immigration policy.
There's only one person that's running it. You know who that is? It's me.
But some Democratic lawmakers are concerned about Miller's hardline stances.
Stephen Miller, who is not confirmed by the Senate, strikes me as having a truly extreme view of immigration in the United States. And my concern is that we will soon be back to a family separation policy.
The president says he is not considering reinstating the controversial policy on separating families at the southern border, but sources tell CBS News Miller is reviewing all options. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Wildlife groups are calling for more protection for the endangered mammal, the pangolin, after 28 tons of their scales were discovered this week. The scales were found in shipping containers among packets of frozen beef coming from Nigeria and on their way to Vietnam. The pangolin is one of the most widely trafficked mammals in the world. Its scales are in high demand for medicine, but the meat is also desired in China and other Asian countries. The illegal trade of these animals has been happening for decades, but their species is unfortunately often overlooked. Richard Thomas of Monitoring Network Traffics warns that seizure of these scales will not stop the trafficking and is advocating that more should be done. Scientists from the U.S., France, and the Netherlands made headlines at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. today. The images of a never-before-seen intergalactic anomaly. Tom Hansen reports.
Here it is.
A group of astronomers made a groundbreaking announcement Wednesday, the first ever image of a black hole, an area of space so deep and dense that nothing, not even light, can escape.
We now have visual evidence for a black hole. We now know that a black hole that weighs 6.5 billion times what our sun does exists in the center of M87. And this is the strongest evidence that we have to date for the existence of black holes.
The glowing ring is at the center of a galaxy called M87, approximately 55 million light years away from Earth, and was captured by a global network of radio antennas known as the Event Horizons Telescope.
We now know clearly that black holes drive large-scale structure in the universe from their home in these galaxies.
Until today, the only images we've seen of a black hole were created by artists and Hollywood.
Here we go.
In scenes like this from 2014's Interstellar. But black holes have long captivated the minds of scientists and the public, all the way back to Albert Einstein, who first theorized their existence a century ago.
And as with all great discoveries, this is just the beginning.
For this team of scientists, confirming Einstein's theory is the first step. Their next target, the black hole at the center of our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
And don't touch that dial, because when we come back, we'll have your weather and sports.
We believe that Mother Earth is not ours. We're using it, and we have to preserve that for our next 7 generations.
I was raised to always think about the future, think about how your decisions today are going to impact the future, think 7 generations ahead.
All of these other perspectives and stories that come from this land and grow up from this land haven't been told yet, and they're important stories to be heard.
Thursday at 2:30 p.m. on Public TV 13.
And welcome back. I'm your weatherman, Brady Hinshaw here, and behind us we have a beautiful blue sky and some sun out today. Looking at our current conditions, we have partly cloudy with a temperature of 33, winds of the north-northeast at 14 miles an hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.27 and rising. Looking at tonight, we have cloudy with a low of 27 and winds of the northeast at 15 miles an hour. Looking at tomorrow, we have snow with a high of 31 and an winds out of the east at 23 miles an hour. Looking at our current conditions in the UP, we have 38 mostly cloudy in Sault Ste. Marie, 42 and mostly cloudy in Manistee, 42 and sunny in Escanaba. Looking at our western half, we have 36 and sunny in Menominee, 39 and mostly sunny in Iron Mountain, 38 and mostly cloudy in Ironwood, 36 and mostly cloudy in Houghton, and back in beautiful Marquette, it's mostly cloudy and 33 degrees. Friday, we have a high of 43 and a low of 33 with morning showers. Saturday, we have a high of 38 with a low of 27 and cloudy. And Sunday, we have a high of 38 and a low of 31 and cloudy. Well, Nate, it doesn't look like the weather is too rewarding, but I hear you have an awarding story.
And a very prestigious one at that, Brady. Senior cross-country and track and field athlete Shayla Hubner has been honored for the GLIAC Commissioner's Award for the second time in her career. Hubner was one of 6 female student athletes across the conference to be recognized for their academic and athletic success. The sports science major currently holds a 4.0 GPA as of last fall and is named to the GLIAC All-Academic Team in every season she's been eligible. Hubner is NMU's 7th Commissioner's Award winner in school history. She also won the same award last winter. As the first round of the NHL playoffs begin tonight, the NHL's draft lottery took place last night. After missing the playoffs for the 3rd straight year, the Detroit Red Wings will be able to select in 6 for the upcoming NHL draft in Vancouver, British Columbia, the same position as they were last year. The selecting first overall will be the New Jersey Devils, following with the New York Rangers in 2nd and Chicago Blackhawks in 3rd. The NHL draft is scheduled for June 21st. The Detroit Tigers, who suddenly found themselves in first place, began a 3-game home series with the Cleveland Indians, but they lost their first game 8-2. As a team, Cleveland hit 4 home runs in the contest, and pitcher Corey Kluber earned his first win, pitching 6 innings and striking out 8 Tigers. Josh Harrison and Nick Castellanos, scored the only runs for the Tigers. Both teams are also playing right now at this moment. Trevor Bauer and Matthew Boyd were the starters for the respective teams. And that'll do it for your Public Eye News here today. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.